Good morning, good morning. Welcome for another recap video. Thanks for tuning in. We got PXMD. This one was wild. Not a lot of price action because of the 10-minute halts, but this was just straight off sympathy momentum after LIFW. LIFW, this thing ran from $2 all the way up to $17 a share. Probably one of the biggest rallies we've had all year. And so when you see something like this, get ready for the next day. And that's what we had today. PXMD, awesome sympathy momentum from $3 up to 10. So we're seeing some good action. Yesterday, LIFW, I didn't trade because I was already working by the time this thing started ripping. I traded this. I missed this first leg. I like walked away around here. I wasn't even watching it though. I didn't even know it was on the scanner. Then I came back after people were calling it LIFW, and we do break out. I remember watching this breakout. However, at this point, I'm already at my day job. I got other things going on, and I'm not really looking at the markets. I jump in small size for the halt, and I do catch like $2 a share on it, which is crazy, but very small size, very insignificant. So I completely kind of slept on LIFW, mostly because of the timing of the move. It was later in the morning, and I had other things going on. And I wasn't really watching it from the open, which, then I would have been more aware of it, and maybe wouldn't have walked away so early. Then PXMD, I remember this thing pre-markets, really good pre-market charts, up over 100% on the day. And it's been so rare that we have a pre-market gapper up 100% that runs another almost 100% from the open price. That is very rare. You don't usually get that this year. We haven't really been getting that, but really good pre-market chart. This is a pretty hefty pullback. But if you were patient on the dip, definitely could have captured this move. The first pullback here was good, right underneath the high. That was a good move there. I was able to get some green there. And as well as here again, after reclaiming this wick, pullback, breakout, able to catch that as well. And as you can see, it's kind of forming a wedge here, an ascending wedge pattern, which usually is bearish. Most of the time it does break down to the downside. Rarely you will see the curl up and actually break through the upper trend, and we actually have more of a parabolic squeeze. That's more rare, but when it does happen, since it's so rare, it does actually produce a pretty massive move because it catches a lot of people off guard. But yeah, usually the ascending wedge here, especially when it's so steep like this, we're up almost 100% without any significant consolidation. Usually we'll break to the downside, which we saw here. So pre-market, I was, base hit green, basic green at the open. Perfect. I like when it's consolidating right around VWAP. We had a lot of good entries off dips here underneath VWAP for a pop higher. And I had some pretty decent size on this, about 500 shares at max, 700 shares at max. And I was able to, catch the dip and the rip. I did have 100 shares into the halt, this first halt here, but I actually ended up taking it off. I just like to avoid halts as much as possible, but definitely would have worked out. I should have held at least small size into that halt. I did end up buying for the break of 750, riding it up to the next halt level, got about 50 cents a share or so, and then slept on this halt and resumption. It was very extended, definitely a lot riskier. We did see that flush back into a halt down, able to catch a couple of dips, and yeah, had a pretty decent day today. We can take a look at the live trading archive. Right now I'm up $388.88. I can take a look at my running P&L. I don't know the highest I was at, but if we take a look at the running P&L, looks like I'm finishing near the highs. So nice solid trend on the day. This is what I like to see. These types of days is what builds a trader's confidence, because you see steady growth, you know, not a whole lot of whips and ups and downs and ups and downs. You know, steady growth on a day is definitely boosts your confidence. You know, you're able to put the pedal to the metal when it matters. Today, you know, putting the pedal to the metal at the right time would have yielded you insane gains on the day. And while I am stoked, I am super stoked about today, you know, just finally seeing some momentum and finally having a nice green day. It's been about a month and a half since a nice green day. You know, I'm super stoked for today, but, you know I can trade bigger. I know I can trade bigger. And I know that if I have a couple more days like this under my belt, you know, this month, I know I can punch it and double the shares of what I traded today. And hopefully, you know, could be walking away with 1K on the day on something like what we saw today on PXMD. I know I can trade, you know, a lot bigger, and you know, I see that it's possible. You know, I see people, you know, doing amazing on stocks like this, and I know that, you know, just with enough practice and enough confidence, and, you know, just believing in yourself, you know, you can get to that level. It's not like these people who, you know, make several thousands on a stock like this, you know, they're not aliens. They're not, you know, gifted. It's just a lot of hard work, perseverance, and then putting the money where your mouth is when you know and trust your strategy and believing in that. And you can walk away with some serious gains. And that's how, you know, successful traders make it long term in this, and actually, you know, be able to experience the benefits of a day trading career, you know, having the ability of having a lot of excess cash, you know, excess cash flow coming in, you know, freedom of money. You know, that's only going to come if you're going to be able to, you know, when the time is right, put your money where your mouth is, put some risk on, because if you're not going to do that, you're never going to grow. And that's just like the biggest struggle that I've had this year is like, I trust my strategy. You know, I've been profitable for 2 years, and, you know, everything is lining up great. Like, I rarely have any red days, you know, and if I do, it's usually pretty small. You know, my strategy works. You know, I know what I'm doing. Setups work. You know, I should be able to trust myself with, you know, bigger share size, and then I'll be able, you know, to really see some nice gains. But yeah, let's take a look. On the recap video. So this was the open. We're not going to go really over pre-market. We'll just stick with the open. So right at the open. So testing out, I always test out with one share right at the open because, you know, I want to test the fills. I don't want my orders to be sticking on the screen and not filling, because if it's going to do it on one share, you know, it's for sure going to do it on 500 shares or 1,000 shares. And now, you know, if you find out on a 500 share position, you could be screwed. So here, just testing my fills. It was pretty fast, so fills are good. Catching the first dip, always a good opportunity here, especially on a decent gap and go. The problem with this is, it's tough. It's tough, kind of like doing quick scalps on this because of the spread. So there, I got a nice red to green there on like 200 shares. You know, not too big. I was able to cash out at the high, like near the high of that candle, which is good before the flush back down. So we had some profit taking there, but we held that support pretty well. In at 85, out at 81. So kind of just small gains, small losses. In at 68, very nice dip by there. Nice, good 8 cents there and 200 shares, not too bad. In at 67, out at 72, another 5 cents there. So, and that was on 500 shares. So that was a nice gain there. So now I bumped it at 300 shares. So this is a really good, you know, area here. If you're going to hold support here, is a good possibility that we're going to squeeze out, especially if we start breaking this downward trend. So really, you want to look if price is going to close over this trend line. If it closes over, then it signs that, you know, bulls are in control. We can speed this up a little bit. The red to green was actually not picture perfect. I mean, it was, but you had to have some balls of steel here. You know, buying right here, especially with the history of the past month, these were not working out at all. So in at 603, adding, and then taking off at 615. So not a bad trade there. Back in, trying to catch this break. I want to catch this break of this previous candle. But I don't want to be in too long because if it does reject, it could be 50 cents. I could be losing 50 cents a share. So, you know, when I'm getting in, especially if it's on a green candle, when I'm getting in looking for a breakout of a previous candle, it's got to be immediately, I got to be immediately in the green or I'm cutting it because the downside is 50 cents. So time exposure is big on these types of trades. Back in at 26. Now we start to get some push there. Come on, it's not quite going yet. It's not quite going yet. So I took it off for break even there. And finally get that pop. I was in a little bit too late, but I still got 15 cents or so. I was in at 62. I got filled in the halt and I took it off. I should have held it. But it's okay. It's okay at this point. I'm actually don't know how much I'm up. We do on halt here. I think I just go straight in. When's this halt resumption? It's gotta be coming up in a couple seconds. Okay, so we got that push right through 750. I got up to 790. Should have got back in there. I tried to, but I didn't get filled. I got filled at the high, and I actually took a loss. By the time I saw the price down there, I should have got back in right there. That would have been a great opportunity. It's hard to judge at this point here. It's hard to judge. But it could have been good. You know, low sevens would have been a really good entry. Scaling out. You know, going up here now is this next halt is definitely a risky one, but it did work out very well, very well. But we only had 5 minutes of price action. You know, if we didn't have all these halts, you know, I could be up close to 1,000. You know, it's possible. And I was definitely patient on the dips because my biggest losses are buying into a dip into a halt down. So that's my riskiest setup is when you have such a parabolic move in the stock that even the first dip may be a great opportunity, but because it's so extended, it hits that halt down level when it's still before the dip. So a lot of times I get in too early and then we unhalt 50 cents lower, and while it still may be a great first dip entry off of a 9 EMA or off a support level, it's still, I got in so high and getting stuck in the halt down, you know, I'm taking a massive loss even though it's a still good setup. So I really am trying to avoid that, and thank God I was able to avoid that. I was able to catch in off this dip off 9 EMA and catch a quick, you know, 5 cents here, 5 cents here. Next pullback, 400 shares. Wow. Very surprised. 400 shares out at 52, out at 44 and 30. That was a really good trade. That was a really good trade there. We do get another push down, which was a really good opportunity. Taking that last off in the 50s. This next push down was a great opportunity for the dip. So still, you know, you can still feel those buyers in that level. So that's why I was kind of buying there. In at 91, out at 95. This is a great opportunity here. I just don't hold it for enough. It's holding there. See all those orders going through and the price ain't moving? That means someone's soaking at the support level. In at 93, I'm pretty confident here. Break of 80, I take some off. Break of 8, I take half off. And I'm kind of scaling out here. You know, I want this to be more explosive, but we don't quite get it, so I'm taking my profits. But, you know, right here is where I made the bulk of my profit. The first leg, I think it was up like 100, maybe 200 on the front side. And I banked another, almost 200 here on this dip, which is pretty decent. I'm happy with my performance. I could definitely trade bigger. I know I can trade bigger. I know I got the strategy down. It's just about confidence and believing in yourself, and which is something that's we all need to work on. Definitely all need to work on, especially after taking big losses in the market. It can definitely dampen your confidence. But you have to continually get back on the horse and learn how to take hits. Learn how to emotionally take losses in the market, because it's going to happen. Completely missed CDIO. This was a great opportunity here for the breakthrough one, but I was busy on PXMD, and then finally CDIO starts to go, and I completely slept on it. I could have definitely done well in CDIO as well, but it's good opportunities today. I hope this continues. It's been so long since we've seen something like this. So super stoked that we're getting some momentum, and I want this definitely to continue. Let's take a look at my statistics today. By the way, if you want to, you guys can sign up for a trade journal. The link will be in the description. It's a great software to help you guys improve your trading. So up 386 on the day, and my accuracy was actually negative. I had a negative accuracy, but because I was able to identify the good setups on the day, such as the first pullback and the initial breakout on PXMD, I was able to have 3 times my winner and my loser, which is able to offset my accuracy. I was able to have a really decent day. My win duration, 28 seconds. So I was able to hold on to my winners for a lot longer than my losers, which was a great sign. It means that I'm identifying good setups, and holding on to it, because I'm a little bit more convicted that the trade will work out when I identify a good setup. And my average losses were smaller because, if the setup's not going to work exactly how I want, I want to be out and I want to wait for the next setup. It's just how I trade. I like to minimize the amount of time that I'm in the market. I only want to be in the market when volatility is at its peak, because if volatility is not at its peak, then I can start to get into that mindset of holding and hoping, averaging down, holding for a backside move when I should only be trading front side volatility. So with all that, I was able to have a decent day. Like I said, it's been such a long time since I had a good day. I can pull up my calendar. As you guys can tell, I'm just stoked. Like energy's high today, because I'm just happy that I can have a decent day. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. October was a crap shoot. This one was just small green, small red, small green, small red, pretty much the entire month. September was a nice consistent month. November, I like how it's turning around, and if it's going to continue like this, then I definitely want to lean into that and push it when the times are good. So thanks for tuning in for this recap video. Check out the links down in the description. You guys can join the Discord channel. The link will be in the description. Also, Trade Journal as well will be in the description. You guys can sign up for that for free. And thanks for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. And I will catch you guys on the next video. All right, peace.